Good morning, students. I'm Praveen welcoming you in the session of computer of class 7. So we are doing our chapter number 7, which is about the introduction to Python. And I have told you about what is programming languages, how programming languages works. And I have told you about the different coding languages, C, C++, Visual Basics, Java, Python, and etc. I have told you about the features of Python, how it is free of cost, how it is integrated, interpreted, object-oriented, and portable also. So this is how we have understood and we get familiar with the Python. I have shown the practical implementation of how you can open your Python in interactive and script mode. So now we will understand the next topic, which is about the detailing of script mode. Okay, detailing of script mode means that now we will understand the script mode in a much detailed manner, in a much convenient manner. Okay, so let's start. But I told you about the creating and writing in a program. So now we are going to jump on the page number 94, and today's topic is variables. Variables means the named memory location, students. Okay, variables means the named memory locations. Now you will ask, sir, how we can identify that this is memory location or not, this is variable or not. So supposingly you are using variables in mathematics also, isn't it? You are using x, y, z, and in your mathematics you are using abc in your mathematics. Okay, so these are what? These are the memory location, or you can say the storing location of any numbers, of any concept of mathematics. Okay, x is equals to 5 means that x values is 5. So here x is variable. Okay, if you are writing x is equals to 5, that means x is equals to 5. That means x is storing 5 and x is a variable. So this the similar manner in the mathematics, that's how we are using variables. We are also using variables in programming languages. Okay, so once again I'm repeating my statements that variables are the named memory locations, okay, created in the main memory of computer. Where it is created? It is created in main memory of computer, used to store data. The basic purpose of to use the variable is storing data. During the program execution, these locations are created and identified by the name given by the user. So whenever we create a program, whenever we create a code, then we use these locations. That means we use these variables. So using variables, values are stored and manipulated to produce the desired results. So if you want our desired result, if you want to calculate something, if you want to perform some mathematical calculations, so we use variables. The next topic is that, student, this is a very critical, crucial, or important topic. You can say rules for naming variables. You cannot use everything, or you cannot use random things in your variables. There are some rules and regulations for naming a variables. Mark my point, this is very important topic, so you have to understand this very critically. Okay, to form valid variable name in Python, we should follow certain rules for naming variable, and these rules are as follows. So the very first rule is that variable name should be meaningful so that they are easy to remember too. Okay, so as simple it is written here that it should be meaningful. You cannot write anything, you cannot write random things in variables. Okay, it should be meaningful so that we can easily track it, so we can easily access it, so we can easily remember it. The next rule is saying that variable name can be of any size. That means if you are using x for a variable and if you are using a complete name, so there is no problem. Okay, so x is also valid, and Praveen is also valid variable name. Okay, variable name can have characters A to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, and underscore. So it have consist some kind of letters, or 0 to 9 and underscore. Okay, but it should not start with numbers. It should start with first variable name should start from letters only. Then you can use the 0, 9. Supposingly, take the example, if you are taken a variable just like 1, 2, 3, so you cannot use the 1, 2, 3 as a variable. Okay, you cannot use the 1, 2, 3 as a variable, but you can use A1 as a variable. Okay, A1. Why you can use the A1? Because A is an alphabet and 1 is a number, so you can use like that. Variable name should begin with letter or underscore, as I have told you, And variable name are case sensitive. This is very important thing, students. Case sensitive means that this will consider capital letters different and small letter different. Supposingly you are written here LPS. Okay, you write here LPS, LPS. So this is written in capital letter. Now you have written L, P and S, and this is written in small letter. Now you will say that, sir, both are the same. Now how it is different? But programming language will consider this as a different thing, because this is written in capital letter and this is written in small letter. So that's why these two things are different. So whatever is written in capital and whatever written in small letters will be considered different things. So this is known as the case sensitive. That means uppercase and lowercase. Always remember that variable name should not be a keyword such as else, print, if, and etc. That means, this is a very important thing, students. You cannot use the reserve word. What are you mean by reserve word? That means you cannot use computer's word. Supposingly ELSE, else is a computer's word. It's owned by computer only. It's owned by language only. So you cannot use else as a variable. PRINT, print. Print is a word of computer. Okay, its owner is computer. So you cannot use PRINT, print, as a variable. So now here are some examples of valid and invalid variables. So now we will first look the invalid variable name. TOTALSAL, total sale. But now you can find the gap in between them, the space in between them. So you cannot give space between the variable name. Okay, it should be written like this. CLASS, class. You cannot use class as a variable name. Why? Because class is a keyword. So you cannot use keyword as a variable name. Variable cannot start with number, I have told you, but this variable is starting from 1. So that's why we cannot use it as one name as variable. You can use like that because it will start from alphabets and then it is followed by number. So I hope that the variable concept is clear to you. Now we'll understand the assigning values to variables. Now we will understand how we can store data into a variable. Just like I am taking the example again and again, x is equals to 5. That means 5 is being stored in x. Okay. So what is the value of x? X value is 5. Supposingly here in our example is written a is equals to 10. That means 10 is being stored to a. Now a's value is equals to 10. So I hope that you have understood the variables. Now the very important topic is yet again that the data types. Data types. Students, mark my point. We as a human being understand which kind of data we are using. Okay. Because we are human beings, we can understand the English, we can understand the several kind of languages, but computer will not understand these languages. Computer cannot interpret these things. What are the type of data we are using? Supposedly you are using 2. Okay, so computer will not understand this is 2 is a numerical data or a decimal point data or a letter data. So we have to specify, we have to give explicit value of it. Okay, we have to underline it that this 2 is a number. Okay, if I am writing here, mark my point on a screen, if I'm writing here 2, so we understand this is 2, but computer will not understand it as 2. But if I'll write here INT, that means we are specifying that this 2 will be considered as numerical value. Why? Because we have specified it to as an integer value. Supposingly I have written here 10.5. Okay, so we as a human being know that this is 10.5 is a numerical value, but which kind of numerical value? Decimal point value. But computer will not understand, so we have to specify the data type of it. So I hope that you are getting my point. So for specifying the type of data that we are going to use in our code or in our programming language, we use the data types. So as you know, your name contains only letters, where your age contains only numerical data. Unlike humans, a computer does not know the difference between letters and numerical data. This is very simple to understand, I guess. Why? Because we as a human being can interpret it. So data type is a kind of classification that tells the computer what type of value a variable can hold. In Python, data type represents the type of data stored in type of value of a variable. So we will define it. Each variable holds some data or some value. Yes, we know it. These are used to identify the difference between values based on their data type. As given on your screen, now look at this. Integer, that means the whole sum, the whole number. Float, the decimal point number. Boolean, that means true or false. Okay, whatever the result is will come in the true or false, that will be considered as Boolean data type. And if you are using any spelling, any letters, any combination of letters, okay, so this will be considered as a string. Mark my point, string. Okay, so now we will understand these data types in detail. First one is integer. Integer are the whole numbers. Mark my point, whole number. It will start from 0 to infinite, and it may consist plus or minus sign also. Okay, in the float numbers are the fractions or the decimal point number we use. I hope that you are familiar with the mathematics terms that float numbers are consist the fractions and decimal point number. So these are called the floating point numbers also, just like 17.3, 365.24, etc. Boolean, as I have told you, that these are the representation of logical values. Logical values means that condition will be true or condition will be false. So if 0 presents false and 1 present true, 0 means false, 1 means true, 0 means off, 1 means on. Okay, so in that sort of type of data, if we are using, that means we are using Boolean data type, string data type. If you are using any kind of letters or character, just as I am writing hello friends, HELLOFRIENDS, because it is a combination of letters, that why it will be considered as a string. And if you are using a single character, just such as I'm using D, only single D, then it will also be considered as a string, but it will be denoted into the single quotes. Okay, if you are using a single character, then you will represent it in a single quotes, single inverted comma. But if you are writing any spelling, any word, then you will have to consider the double quotes, double inverted comma. So I hope that you have understood the data types and variables of Python, and in the upcoming session, I will also implement the Python programming language into by sharing my screen also. So I hope that you have enjoyed this session. Take care. Bye-bye.